I followed this specific morning routine for over 120 days now. If you haven't been living under a rock, you will know who Andrew Huberman is. He is a neuroscientist that has recently launched podcasts, social media posts, helping humans live an optimal life backed by science. And I think this is why he's blown up so much, because he uses the science-based approach. Due to his following, you can see that he's probably changed thousands and thousands of lives, and he certainly has helped me massively in mine. One day I was recently watching podcasts. I stumbled across his morning routine. Now, my previous morning routine was horrendous. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know it was important until I started to research into it. I decided to follow his morning routine. Waking up, writing down time you woke up. Now, why would you want to do this? Everything you do in the day leads up to a good sleep at night. If you're sleeping awful, it's usually a sign that in the day things are going wrong that is causing you to not be able to sleep and wake up at the time needed. So if we are consistently checking the time we wake up and it's briefly around the same time, this is going to indicate that the things that we're doing in the day is really good and we need to keep doing them. Now, if we wake up 2-3 hours off our time, we know that something in that day has gone wrong, and then we can start to pick apart what was different in this day. What do I need to change going forward to make sure that this doesn't happen? I would say that you need to jot down the time that you're getting up, and I would say that for the first week, if you're not used to waking up at a certain time, just let your body wake up naturally and see what kind of time comes up the most. So for me, it's 8 AM, but it's so important to track every morning what time you're getting up, because it gives us a good indication on how our body's functioning. The second step is getting to sunlight as fast as possible. This is so important. Natural sunlight is the key to your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is your wake and sleep cycle. Your circadian rhythm, it helps the function of your hormones. And we all know that hormones basically control the whole body. So this is why it's so important. Now, if you wake up and you get to sunlight as fast as possible, you're not touching your phone, this is indicating to your body, right, it's time to be awake. A lot of people are really tired in the mornings because they might wake up and scroll on their phone, or they might stay in a dark room, and then their body's not actually identifying that, okay, it's daytime, we need to get up. And the same thing with going to sleep. If you are constantly on your phone watching TV, your body thinks that's light, so your body will actually send signals to you to stay awake. You need to get to sunlight, and if you just sit there at the start of the day, I find that I feel so much better and I feel really positive about the day. Actually, something that's not in his morning routine but I've added in myself, which is morning grounding, which is actually touching your bare skin to the ground. So you either can go to the beach or you can go on soil. They are the two best options to touch the earth. Now, humans have evolved for millions of years to gain energy from the earth. This has been a part of my morning routine that I do because it helps boost mood, helps with inflammation levels, with mental health, and I've found massive benefits to this. So if you are doing a morning walk to get your sunlight, take off your shoes and go and walk around the field, and you will see massive benefits. Third step of the morning routine, which is hydrating. We all know that when we sleep, we are massively dehydrated, and Andrew Huberman says to put some salt in your water. Now, for most people, you're like, why would you put salt in your water? You're putting salt in your water because salt has electrolytes in it. It has sodium, magnesium, all of these healthy things that our body needs to rehydrate. Important to wake up and drink your water, not reach for caffeine for the first 90 minutes to 120 minutes. Now, according to science, in the mornings, your hormone levels, your stress is already at a high state. So what we need to do is wait for that cortisol to drop, or we then add caffeine. If you drink coffee straight away, this actually gives you a crash later on in the day. But I found that going 90 minutes to 120 minutes, actually, I stopped getting that crash later on in the day. That was such a huge benefit, and I thought, okay, this really is something that I need to have in my morning routine. Now, the fourth step is actually breath work or meditating. Now, he talks about meditating in the mornings on his walk. I found that doing breath work has been one of the keys to an optimal morning routine. Starting off the day positive, starting off clearing your mind, removing yourself from the world and being in touch with your body is the greatest way to start your morning. And breath work is actually known to decrease stress, help with immune system, deregulate nervous system, cure chronic illnesses. When I do breath work in the morning, I feel absolutely amazing. What I like to do is with my breath work is to breathe in and and let go. So I'm breathing in positive energy, and when I'm blowing out, I'm releasing stress. And you're going to do this anywhere between 15 to 30 seconds. And then what you're going to do is actually hold your breath for a minute to a minute and a half. As you get better, your lung capacity will get better and you'll be able to hold for longer, and you will see massive changes. This is ultimately replacing that coffee that you're not having for 90 to 120 minutes, because you are going to see massive energy boosts from doing this. Also, part of the morning routine is to not eat first thing in the morning. I know fasting's come to a light, but this is what Andrew Huberman does, and I started to follow this, is that I don't eat until at least lunchtime. This just helps with focus. I think we can all agree that once we've eaten, we feel a bit lazy, we don't feel as switched on, and this is simply just an evolutionary response that we used to go out and hunt, and once we used to get the food, we used to then rest. And this is just keeping your mind sharp, focused, so that we can do the work needed for the next 90 minutes to an hour. And this is what I've followed, and I found that my work is so much more productive, and I'm just crushing goals in the morning. That 2-hour period is the most productive period of the day. So I know it's hard, but get used to not stuffing your face with food so that you can get that energy needed and get that work done. The next step is cold exposure. Andrew Huberman says that cold exposure is the key to waking up in the morning, to feeling good. And since I've started doing it, I feel amazing. My mental health has increased, my skin's increased, my energy in the morning is just through the roof. It's like a reset. It's like waking up and you're like, I'm alive, I'm awake. You start with maybe a minute in the morning. Try and do a minute in a cold bath, or just turn the shower on a minute after you've had a warm shower. Do this and increase, and eventually you'll be able to do 5 minutes where you're just in the cold, submerged. This is the key to having a great morning. If you start with hard tasks in the morning, you're then going to be able to be disciplined later on in the day. And the last step is getting a workout in. Andrew Huberman says that it's important to get a workout, move your body in the morning, especially in a fasted state, so that you have a lot more energy. You're not as slumped as if you've done it in the nighttime. Everyone knows about how good you feel after you exercise. It's all about getting those feel-good hormones ready for the day. You feel like you've achieved something and you're ready to tackle on the rest of the day. Now, this is the morning routine, and I think I can honestly say that it's completely changed my life. I now wake up in the morning and I'm excited for the day. I don't feel like I'm dragging in the morning. I've just had so many positive benefits, and I feel so much better, and I'm improving so much more in my life. The key to a good morning is the key to a good day, and this is why if you should focus on anything, it should be your morning routine. These things that I have mentioned to you, they're all free. There is no excuse. You don't need these massive devices, don't need all this expensive equipment to feel good in the morning. You simply need to use what nature's given us, and that is why there are no excuses. And I want you to challenge yourself to do this for a week, 30 days, and find how amazing you feel, and eventually it just becomes part of your life. And now I just wake up and the morning routine is just like this. I just tick each off and I'm just ready to go. My days are way more productive. So this was me following Andrew Huberman's morning routine for 120 days, how much it changed my life. Hope you've enjoyed.